evening, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new special edition covering events happening here at home, regionally and around the globe. Turkey said on Wednesday that it condemns in the strongest of words the Israeli government's actions after Israeli ministers posted videos showing activists in an intercepted Gaza-bound flotilla kneeling and with their hands tied. There were also reactions from Spain, Ireland and France and other European capitals condemning these unacceptable actions by Israel. This at a time when the Israeli government, Israel moved closer to a snap election after lawmakers gave an initial nod to dissolve parliament. And also US President Donald Trump today saying that he's not in a rush as far as reaching a deal with Iran is concerned. This after he had earlier warned that Iran has only 2 or 3 days to go back to the negotiations table or face yet another strike that he was an hour away from. And we saw, of course, the Senate move yesterday to try and curb the war powers of Mr. Trump. We'll be discussing these three very important points with our dear distinguished guest with us now over the phone, Dr. Asmaa Zieny. And Dr. Asmaa is Senior Fellow at the Global Peace Institute of London. Dr. Asmaa, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Very good evening. Thank you for having me today.
Dr. Asmaa, how much are the reactions to the Israeli assaults on the Gaza activists influential? I mean, can these reactions from Spain, Ireland, France and other European capitals, of course Turkey leading the way, can they lead to pressure on Israel to stop its illegal actions against those activists, or open the humanitarian corridors into the besieged Gaza Strip as Palestinians are still suffering from the aftermath of the Israeli genocide war on Gaza?
All these efforts exerted till now to break the siege enforced on the Palestinians in Gaza, we cannot say that it is any kind of success. Israel is still curbing all the efforts of different trials to break this situation. And even some world governments are telling us every day they are supporting these efforts, but actually the results are not satisfying at all. As you just said, they are still arresting the activists and stopping the humanitarian aid from arriving the people who deserve it inside Gaza.
Yes. Daily violating the Sharm el-Sheikh ceasefire deal brokered by the US, Egypt and Qatar and hosted here in Sharm el-Sheikh. Dr. Asmaa, the Israeli lawmakers' vote calling for an early snap ballot, do you think this will lead to early elections indeed in Israel? And how will this change the political landscape? Will it lead to a leadership change in Israel? What do you think of that development, the significance of that development?
I'm hoping that the voice of the opposition against this, which is described as the worst government in the history, in the whole history of Israel since it was established, I believe they are trying their best to reach an early election to get rid of this, as described from inside Israeli times as the worst in history. In their history.
Right.
The election should be not exceeding 27th of October, but some leaders are insisting on having the elections on the same date of 7th of October to remind the electors of what the Netanyahu government has led the situation inside Israel.
Yeah. And speaking of the Israeli government, of course, led by a war crime suspect who was wanted by the International Criminal Court. And also, by the way, in the last couple of days, we learned that the Israeli finance minister, the rightist Smotrich, is also wanted by the ICC for the illegal actions in the West Bank. and the illegal settlements in the West Bank. So the Israeli premier wanted by the ICC for suspected war crimes and the Gaza genocide and starvation of the Gaza people, and it's the Israeli finance minister is wanted by the same court for the illegal activities in the occupied West Bank. What do you think will be the chances of Netanyahu in the upcoming elections, whether there will be early ones or the October elections?
I think that he is doing his best to delay the elections as much as possible to achieve whatever success, whether be in Gaza, be in reaching something with Iran, or even in Lebanon. He is trying his best, but I believe even the people from inside Israel are like fed up of the situation. They need to change what they let this government lead them to. They are doing their best to have this, as I'm telling you, early elections to change the reality inside Israel. By changing the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, and changing the government after that.
Yeah. Speaking of being fed up, I mean, you just said fed up. I mean, I think the world is fed up also with the American-Israeli-Iranian situation. And we are also not only fed up, but very confused. So please, clear some stuff for us here. I mean, a few days ago, U.S. President Donald Trump said he was 1 hour away from ordering his army to strike Iran again, but that he backtracked because of the Saudi, Qatari, and Emirati calls. And then a couple of days ago, he said Iran has only 2 or 3 days to go back to negotiations table or face another strike. But then today, he's saying he's not in a rush. He's not in a rush at all as far as the deal with Iran is concerned. Please clear this up for us. I mean, we are confused.
The whole world is confused like us. We are listening to the press release about reaching very soon to reach the settlement with the agreement with Iran. And after that, we learned that they need only 3 days. Sometimes it is few hours. No one can understand actually what goes on the table. Of course, we are hoping that the negotiations, we reach this to improve the situation in the whole region, but actually no one can understand the mechanism they are going to reach by, or the timing. No one can expect this.
Absolutely.
All what we can do, that we hope for that we reach this moment as soon as possible, because actually the situation between U.S., Israel, and Iran is affecting our region and the whole world in a way as never before.
Yeah. There's also something confusing about the time that Mr. Trump supposedly has for a strike. I mean, in a few days, it will be the Greater Bayram, Eid al-Adha, the Hajj period. And no one can imagine that strikes would be in the air during Hajj, and we all know about the need for, the aviation to be clear and so on. No one can really imagine that this would occur during Hajj. And then there's the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup that the U.S. will host in early June. And then there is this latest move, and I want your comment on that move, Dr. Asmaa, please, by the Senate, the U.S. Senate, which voted for in the 8th attempt. It succeeded in attempt number 8 to curb Mr. Trump's war powers and to force him to go back to, this is an attempt to try and force him to go back to Congress, or at least declare war. But then there is for this to be in effect, the House of Representatives also has to do the same. And Mr. Trump can yet veto all of this after all. So what do you think of the time frame issue and of the Congress moves against him as far as the Iran situation is concerned?
I think that the pressure coming from inside America is equal to the wishes to the rest of the world that this situation ends somehow, because the budget, the daily budget of the strike, the American strikes on Iran is burdening the American citizens with making the economic situation so hard for them. This is a very important pressure that comes from inside the U.S. to reach the settlement with Iran. And we, the rest of the world, especially we at the region, we are hoping for the end of this situation, as you have just said, for the safety of because the season of the Hajj is the top of events of the whole year for the whole Muslim world, and we are wishing for the safety of all people coming from all over the world to perform a Hajj. And actually, I was worried personally on people coming from southeast of Asia and other parts of the world, because the strikes, the American-Israeli strikes on Iran. Alhamdulillah, the situation is good, and we are hoping for the improvement by reaching this settlement very soon.
Hopefully, inshallah. Thank you very much. As always, Dr. Asmaa Zieny, the Senior Fellow at the Global Peace Institute of London. Thank you, Dr. Asmaa, for your time and for your insight. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. And in about 7 minutes from now, we'll be back with a full panorama of news and a look at the latest in the fields of politics, business, and sports happening here at home, across the region, and globally. Please stay with Nile TV.